What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching The Road to Beast Wars. This is just a web series where we're talking about the production of Transformers Rise of the Beasts. This is episode number 18, and you're probably thinking, what is up with the environment around me? It looks very different. Well, that's because I'm at my mom's place. I'm actually in my brother's old room, and that is because, well, first of all, this is just a temporary situation. I'm actually helping out a family friend, and they're using my house to quarantine for 14 days. I will be back there in a week. His quarantine is almost over. It's halfway through because he could either quarantine in a hotel or he could quarantine in my place. So yeah, I'm just helping out a family friend, and that's that. So I'm just going to be here temporarily. Let's just jump right into it. I know it's been a week since my last update, but I got some stuff for you. I'm just going to give a big shout out to our major players and OGs in reporting of the production of Transformers Rise of the Beasts on Instagram, and that is once again Transformers Alt Modes in Montreal, Quebec, and also Ultra Prime TF in Peru. So these photos have been taken from them. And it's going to be really, really exciting. And also, of course, TransformersFR.com, TFW2005.com for, of course, taking and sharing these photos. Really appreciate it. Let's get right into it. So, Transformers Rise of the Beast was actually filming for a single day on August 29th in New York. And I was actually curious to see, I was actually waiting to see if any Transformers fans in New York would actually be able to get any footage of what they were filming there. And I was just thinking to myself, well, it's only for one day, and so I'm positive the actors wouldn't be there. They most likely wouldn't have any of the vehicles there either, because they'd have to transport them just for one day, and then, well, the Montreal filming is still going on, right? And the actors, of course, once they go over there, they probably have to quarantine. So all they were really doing was second unit filming. And I truly believe that, because, like I said, it's only for one day, and all they were doing was trying to get like establishing shots of New York City, so that all the close-up shots and all the car chases and all the buildings will be filmed in Montreal. But once they need to get, I mean, at some point they got to show New York City, right? So that's what they were doing in New York. They're probably getting really wide shots, aerial shots, drone shots, who knows? But they're just shots to give the illusion to the audience that this was actually filmed in New York. But we all know it's filmed in Montreal. So that's what was going on last Sunday on August 29th, okay? Moving on, let's talk about, of course, the location we're quite familiar with, and that is the Parc Jean Drapeau. The filming there is done. We didn't see anything really major, except there was a giant a blue screen. We saw Optimus rolling into battle, and I believe that it was the aftermath of a battle that already took place, because we didn't actually see any major explosions go off or any pyrotechnics. I feel like what we really saw was just an aftermath, and then Optimus Prime is just rolling into what just took place. So now it's being taken down. It's done. They're done with that set or that location, and they're ready to move on. Some of the things that were shown there, of course, were a lot of damaged cars, flipped over cars, structural damage to the buildings. Here's a flipped over car. And in the lot, they're keeping more damaged cars like this one, and a whole bunch of other ones like this one. So it really shows you that whatever is taking place over there is a pretty big deal. So maybe the type of damage that's going on might not be what we see take place in real time. Instead, we're just going to see the aftermath of it, unless, of course, there was stuff that was filmed that was really, really action-packed, but nobody got to see it because they were really tight on security, and they were a little bit more laxed when things weren't really happening. So that's highly possible. Let's take a closer look at, or another look at the lot where they're building the Maximal Caves and this drainage fissure. As you can see, this will be the actual set where they will be filming this. As you already can see, they're performing construction on all this. This is a really great wide shot, obviously taken by a drone. You see the blue screen there, so it's going to hide whatever's actually, you know, in the back. But I'm really curious what it's going to be. Is it going to be like in the city, or is it going to be like are they going to make a location in Peru? Here's another shot of the Maximo Cave, and what you can see here is they're building a fake mountainous wall, and they're obviously going to act in front of it. But what is really that wall? Well, check this out. Here's some close-up shots. Look at that. That looks like an entrance to a spaceship, like a Cybertronian ship or whatever, that actually was buried there after so many millions of years. It crashed into this mountain, and then I guess the mountain kind of just like buried it because of maybe a landslide, or just kind of grew over it, like with the vegetation. So that's highly possible. There's another closer look at the entrance of the spaceship. So obviously something's going to go in and out of there. We're going to find out what it is later on. This is from Dominique Fishback's Instagram stories. And what she captioned here was Action Dom. She's putting on some protective gear for elbows and knees. And it looks like, and she's wrapped her ankles. So it looks like what's going to take place is that she's going to be doing a bit of running, and also perhaps some rolling around. She's definitely going to take a tumble, maybe a light tumble, because the heavier tumble will be taken care of by her stunt double. But in any case, it looks like she's going to be joining in on some action, and not just vehicular action. It's going to have some footwork, as in it could consist of a foot chase. And yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm really curious to see what she's going to be doing. Now, here is an exciting shot. This is the first shot where we actually see, like, this is obviously not the Autobots in action, but it's the first time we're actually seeing Optimus with Jazz in the same shot. And you know what's really exciting about this? It's the fact that Optimus and Jazz are going to be rolling out together in some scene, and it doesn't have Bumblebee in it, right? Because we're so used to seeing Bumblebee and Optimus, and just a lot of Bumblebee. Now we're seeing Optimus and Jazz. Mirage. We're seeing Optimus and Mirage, and they're going to be in a scene together. And I just am really excited to just see an Optimus Prime roll out with an Autobot that's not Bumblebee. That's going to be really, really exciting. It's just going to be a change. The vehicle beside Mirage that is covered up is Mirage's, I guess, other car. So one is the hero car, one's the stunt car. So one of those being covered up. I'm not sure why they're both not being covered up, but in any case, one of them is going to be in use for like at this moment. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. I'm really curious to see this scene. It's going to be great. Here is our first close-up and clear shot of Bumblebee. The only shots of Bumblebee we have really seen are from the side, from the back, and he's driving away, so it's not very clear. This is our first clear shot of Bumblebee, and apparently all of Bumblebee's scenes are done. Like, he's done. That's it. So it really makes me wonder, like, how much is he really in this movie? Of course, what we have seen filmed doesn't equate to what is actually going to be in the movie, because, of course, there are a lot of the robot scenes. So just because we didn't see him very much doesn't mean that he's got very little screen time. It just means that whatever that was filmed, we didn't see in these as captured by fans, right? This is the truck that is transporting him out. So if you see this blue truck, this transport truck, then you know Bumblebee's in there. Let's move on. So this is regarding filming in Peru. So I'm reading this from TFW2005.com. Possible filming date in Cuzco and production details. According to the article, the regional manager of tourism in Cuzco recently stated that they are expecting a crew of 120 people in the city with only 2 actors among them. 2 actors, most likely being Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback. Confirmed locations include Cuzco's main square, the Sacred Valley of the Incas, and Machu Picchu. It is also mentioned that some sources indicate a possible filming date in Cuzco from September Tuesday the 7th to Friday the 10th. So only 4 days. So 4 days. They got 4 days to film a final battle, but that's just speculative. It's not 100% sure. It's only a possible filming date. So I was thinking that they would be filming like a big battle like for weeks, you know? So I'm really not sure. Here's a news article that is that talks about where they're going to be filming. It's Machu Picchu, Machu Picchu, and it's going to be really cool to see these ruins on screen in a Transformers film. I'm really wondering what they're going to do with this. It's this could be like a you know, an origins ground or like a site for the Predacons or the Maximals. So that's going to be cool. And finally, last thing I want to show you is this is a news report from Peru, and this this reporter is actually standing behind or standing in front of a Terracon. We're not really sure which Terracon it is. It really could be Scourge, but he's in a holding area where a Terracon is located. So it's going down. This is the real deal. Terracons are in Peru right now. They didn't really show any Terracons in Montreal. At least we haven't seen anything. But we're in December. I mean, we're in September now. So filming is almost done. After all, they did start in June. So time really flew by. When you really think about it, that went by fast. And I guess it feels like it didn't go by fast because we didn't really see as much. I mean, it didn't really feel like they filmed as much because we didn't see much action. You know, typically in a Michael Bay movie, it's like boom, 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 a lot of gunfire, soldiers running around, close down an entire street, just like they did in Dark of the Moon. You have cars racing through the streets of London, and then they built a giant battlefield in Detroit and Chicago for Age of Extinction. So, you know, like, this is something very different. It is a big movie. Like, don't get me wrong. Like make no mistake about it. It's a $200 million movie. I think a lot of that money is going to go towards CG work, though, from Industrial Light and Magic, or whatever visual effects house that is actually doing the effects. It's the same effects house that visual effects house that did the work for Lion King. You know, Disney's live-action Lion King adaptation. So that's going to be a big one. I guess a lot of the money isn't being spent on things like you know, the military and big action set pieces involving giant pyrotechnics. That's what it feels like, at least to me, because we haven't seen any of that. It feels like at least what I believe, like the CG is what is going to be the most expensive spending for this production. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. After all, there are a lot of factions. There are 5 factions here, and we're going to see some really cool CG work. After all, it is 2021. That's 14 years after the release of the 2007 original Transformers film. So CG will have improved a lot. And by that time, when it's released in 2022, it's going to look really, really good and really realistic. And it's going to be awesome. So there you have it. That's all I got to report for today in this episode number 18. I was hoping to see a little bit more action, but, you know, who knows? Maybe we're going to get a couple of fans flying drones over Machu Picchu and the Incan structures in Peru, but it's definitely not going to be as accessible as let's say filming in Montreal, of course, where it's just right on the streets and people can just walk on by and see what's going on, right? It's going to be very, very different, and there you have it. But don't worry too much. This series is going to keep on going, and of course we got to talk about the marketing. We got to talk about the toys. We got to talk about the toy leaks and plenty of speculation. So don't you worry about this web series. It isn't going to end anytime soon. We got a long ways to go before the release of this film, and I'm really excited, okay? I'm really excited to see actually those toy leaks, Toy Fair, of course a possible teaser trailer in either December or Super Bowl. So there's a lot to talk about. My name is Alex Yu. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.